channel. My name's Angela and this is Devon Threadtails. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a little bit of a mix-up of a video. I would like to share with you the things that I made in March, but I wasn't very productive in March, so I've got 3 things to share with you that I made. Then I have a little bit of a fabric haul, so I hope that you'll be interested in that. And I've also got a little bit of a clip from Amy, which I'm sure lots of you will be delighted about. So now it sounds like it's a huge long video. I'll try and condense it. But basically what I'm trying to say is I haven't sewn much. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to crack on with my makes. So first of all, I made a pair of trousers. And these are, I'm going to put pictures up of me wearing them. These are the Modern Sewing Company MS Spring trousers. And this is I have a very peculiar feeling with these trousers. So what's my peculiar feeling? First of all, I saw this and I thought on, where did I see it? Minerva, I think I saw it. And I thought, oh, these would be great because they're sort of smart trousers with, you know, pleats down the front, fly front, flat at the front and elasticated at the waist, at the back. So I'll make it nice and comfortable. And I have been struggling a little bit with my waistline. So I thought this was a really good sort of compromise rather than having a pair of fitted trousers. So I've really taken my time on these and I have, let me turn them inside out so you can see them. I did, I don't need to turn them inside out. I did like bias binding on the zip at the front, and I will say the instructions for putting in this zip fly front is one of the easiest that I have seen and used, and I'm really impressed with the sewing instructions on this pattern. Very, very much so. I've used a black fabric from Haberdashery Fabrics and More, so it's not like a fancy fabric or anything. You've got really nice big pockets. I love how the pocket detail looks on the side. Obviously it's a slash pocket, but it's you know, top stitched in. You've got top stitching on this outer edge here which goes down, and then you've got the pleats which are all top stitched in, and then like I say you have the elasticated waistband on the back, and they are extraordinarily wide legged trousers. Okay, so very happy with how I've sewn them. I don't like what they look like on, and I feel really terrible saying that, but I've just got to be honest. I just don't feel like they're me at all. They make me feel like I'm wearing a nappy. I just don't like that gathered look around the bottom area. I think a gathered waistband or the elasticated waistband on a skirt is one thing because it just kind of hangs off the you know, the curves of your body, and that's fine, but because the trouser has to kind of come around your bottom and what have you, it just looks really odd. It looks really weird, and I am so disappointed with what they look like, and I'm so disappointed because I'm so happy with how I've sewn them and what they, you know, the quality of the finish of them. I just really am pleased with that, and I don't know if there's any way that I can do something with this, but I think I'm just going to have to take them to a charity shop because there is no way I'm going to wear them. I just don't feel nice in them. And if anything from the last few weeks and months has taught me, I've been really sort of experimenting with my clothes and styles on me and what makes me feel nice and what doesn't make me feel nice. I just don't think I'm ever going to wear these. So they are going to go to a charity shop. And I do feel a bit bad about that. But at the end of the day, they don't make me feel nice. And I have learnt from sewing them. I've, you know, had a really good experience of the finish on them and the bias binding, and like I say, the instructions were absolutely fantastic, but I just don't like them, and I'm just not going to wear them. When I tried them on and I showed my husband, he went, "Whoa, they're wide legged, aren't they?" And I was like, "Oh, do you not like them?" And he went, "They're not my favourite thing that you wear." So I haven't even worn them. I only tried them on just to show him. But yeah, I'm really gutted, really gutted. So never mind, it's a learning curve, which is a little bit what my second experience of my second item is a bit of a learning curve. So I'll show you that one. So did any of you see Tamlin from Sewing on the Tyne, her Size Me Sewing Vienna dress? I saw it and on one of her videos, and I instantly came off the video and went and bought the pattern. I absolutely flipping loved it. I just thought it was absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, right, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to make that up straight away. And I had some fabric which I knew was quite inexpensive that I bought from Hobbycraft. So I knew I wasn't going to feel too upset if it went wrong. But I was like, nothing's going to go wrong. It's going to be fine. So I've made this dress up. Beautiful fabric, really like the colour on me. I think that looks really nice, but I've made the wrong size. I still think it's a really nice dress, and I'll put the pictures on of me wearing it, and I'll also show you a picture of me with the belt on. I just feel like it's too big, so I'm not going to waste this, so fear not. I am going to fix this. I'm going to unpick the elastic that's around the waist, and I'm going to take it in down the side seams and reattach the elastic. But then when I make it again, I'm going to make it in a smaller size because it just isn't right, the size that I've made it at all. But the idea of this dress I think is absolutely lovely. I had to make this without pockets because I didn't have enough fabric, but in actual fact it's, you know, it's fine without the pockets, but I would have liked to have put pockets in, but that's fine. So the pockets that they have in there look really good. They look really big, so that's great. But yeah, I just didn't have enough fabric, so that was fine. So yeah, pleased with it, but I haven't worn it yet because it's just too big. And I feel like I've got like a really funny old styled nightie on when I've got it on because I've made it too big. But once I fix that, I think that'll be fine. And I've got lots of plans to make some more of these in different fabrics. But you know, if you see it sort of like that, I mean, obviously, you know, my waist isn't that thin, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, if you sort of see it sort of cinched in a little bit, that looks really nice. Yeah, a bit of a shame, but never mind, you live and learn, don't you? So yeah, so that was my second sew and a bit of a fail. So yeah, I think that's why I haven't sewn very much, because I've sewn those two and then I've kind of gone, right, what am I going to sew that's going to work then? So on to my last sew of the month, and this was a lot more successful. That sew there on my mannequin. So I will put pictures in so you'll be able to see it. But basically, this is the Libby A-line skirt from Tessuti Fabrics, and it is a free pattern. It's what I made to get involved with the Sew Frugal 23 challenge that was run over on Instagram with Ruan, the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and Sam from Frugalissima. I am glad that I got involved in that because I'd had my two, what I feel like were sort of sewing fails, and I had promised that I was going to make something, and I've made it, and I'm really pleased with how this has come out. The fabric that I used was fabric that I used for a Giselle dress a long time ago from Andrea Beyond the Pink Door, and it's a beautiful bright purpley pink and electric blue and red flowery viscose fabric, and I really love it, and I wanted to use it again for something else, but I felt a bit funny using it as a dress because I obviously already had a dress. So this skirt was great, and obviously the pattern was absolutely free. It was such an easy sew, it was really easy to put together. I did cut it out originally in the size 12. Before I sewed it up, I kept measuring it, and then looking at the seam allowances and then measuring myself again, and I bravely decided, nope, I'm gonna cut the size 10. So all it was just cutting up the sides to cut the size 10, and I'm glad I did because it fits absolutely beautifully, really perfectly, and I think that looks really nice with a little white t-shirt or a little white vest top on. Could wear anything like a little navy blue cardigan or a red cardigan over at the top of it. But yeah, I absolutely love it. Oh, and denim jacket. So really super pleased, and I highly recommend the Libby A-line skirt, and it's a free pattern, so it's a win-win. So I'm going to go on and share with you a few bits and pieces that I've bought recently. So Helen from Stitch Repeat and we went up to the Exeter Craft for Crafters Fair. Now, we thought this was going to be a bit like the shows that we've been to in London, so lots of fabrics and knitting and all that kind of thing. And there were some beautiful things up there, but not as much as we had liked. It was more paper craft and things like that. But it was great anyway to go, and Helen and I had a lovely day. We really enjoyed ourselves. Helen's great company anyway. So we went up, had a bit of lunch, and then we ended up coming home and having a cup of tea here, which was quite nice. But it was a nice show to go to because it was more local to us, so we didn't have to, you know, get trains and things like that. So that was great. So I only bought a couple of things, which will surprise some of you. The first thing I bought was from a lovely store. I'd never heard of this shop before, but the lady that owns the store is called Becky, and her shop is Becky Lane Designs. Picked up this little leaflet from her. So you can follow her on Facebook, on Etsy and on Instagram. And she sold some really lovely fabric. She's going to be changing the name of her shop soon, but if you follow her as Becky Lane, then you know she'll just change that name and you'll still be following her. But I bought this lovely viscose jersey, which I thought was quite a nice jersey. I thought that suited me quite well as well. I really like it. She didn't have very much of it. I think I've got just under 2 meters. I can't remember how much I got of that now, but I'm thinking I can squeeze out some kind of nice little viscose dress, you know, jersey dress. That'd be quite nice, something nice and lightweight for the summer. But I really like that. I have some ideas. I wanted to do the sew over a style dress, but I don't think I'll have enough fabric for it, but we'll see. You never know, I might be able to do a bit of jiggery pokery and actually get the pattern pieces out of it. But I really like that. I think that's really nice. So that was purchase number one. From the same lady, I bought myself a cup and a coaster, and I know this sounds really funny, what a funny thing, but she designed them all herself and I just loved it. Look at that. How cute is that cup? Just blue on the inside. Scissors and rainbows and cotton reels and pins and flowers. I mean, what's not to like? I just thought that was so sweet. Really, really lovely. And she sold these with the blue handle on the blue inside, or you could get them with like a pinky coloured handle and pink on the inside. But I really liked that. And then I got the coaster to match. So yeah, that's going to be my sewing room cup of tea cup. And I do love a cup of tea. So that was purchase number two. Purchase number three was from Bombay Stores. So they had lots and lots of pre-cut fabrics, and they had lots of brushed cotton and like pajama kind of fabrics. I had jerseys and cottons and things like that, but I was looking at the I don't know what you call it. It's not brush cotton. Anyway, the name will come to me in a little bit. But Helen was looking at some, and she decided she was going to get this beautiful grey fabric which had these little red birds on them, which she did give a name, but I can't remember what they were now. And she was like, oh, I could do some more pajama bottoms, and they were selling them in 2 metre strips, and they were £10 for 2 meters, which I thought was really good. And then I wasn't going to get any, and then I saw what I've got in here and I thought, I can't not get it. So Amy, my middle daughter, has a little bit of an obsession with sharks. She really, really likes sharks. And I saw this and I thought this would be the most perfect Christmas pyjamas for her. I know we're only in April, but how amazing is that? And it's just in this beautiful, soft, really sort of soft brushed cotton. It's not brushed cotton, but I can't remember what it's called. But this really lovely fabric. I don't know what else to call it. I know it's called something else and I just can't think. Anyway, but look at the sharks on that. They've all got Christmas jumpers and hats and baubles and all sorts of different things. I just thought that was really good fun. And I did show her actually, and because I thought, oh, I wonder if she'll think that's a bit silly. She was like, oh, that's really good. I really like that. And I love it because they gave it to you in this lovely little bag with a little zip over the top of it. So I thought it was quite cute, quite a nice little touch. So that was my purchases from the Crafters show up at Exeter. So on to the purchases that I got from the Stitch Festival in London. Now, I decided not to do a video on the Stitch Festival on YouTube because I knew lots of other people would be doing it, but I did post all of the videos and the things that I did in on my Instagram stories. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to talk to you about the fabrics, and I'm not going to talk to you about the show at all, but I'm going to put some bits and pieces in here so you can see what was going on. Hopefully that's not too distracting, and hopefully that'll be okay. But yeah, I know I don't need to talk about it because lots of people have, but it was an amazing day and I absolutely loved it. So on with the fabrics that I bought. The first thing I bought was a remnant. Well, it wasn't the first thing I bought. The first thing I'm showing you was a remnant from Emporia Patterns, and I remember I've bought a remnant from them before, but it's this beautiful rich purple colour, and I know that I quite suit sort of jewelled colours. I have wondered about making something for one of my girls, but it's basically a piece of viscose jersey. I think it's about 1.5 meters worth. It wasn't very expensive, and I know it's plain, but I just thought that would go with lots and lots of things. And if I can find the perfect pair of trousers to make, which I will one day, I will find the perfect pair of trousers to make, but it just wasn't those, not for me anyway. I thought that with a nice pair of black trousers as a nice top, that would look quite nice. So that was the first piece of fabric I wanted to share with you. We then went to Rainbow Fabrics. Now, Rainbow Fabrics had an amazing array of fabrics and mainly viscoses, and I have bought from them online before, and I think I bit cruelly critiqued them once before because I had a piece of fabric that wasn't great from them, but then I have bought others from them and it's been fabulous. So I do feel a bit bad that I've said that one of the pieces of fabric I got wasn't very good, but actually they are fabulous. So I bought a red viscose fabric. Now I've got this already. I've been trying to organize my stash and it's all put together on a piece of card, so I'll open it up a little bit for you. But this is a piece of red viscose. I think I got 3 meters of it, and it is a little red and white ditzy print. I really like that. I think it's really pretty, and I think I'll be making some kind of nice red summery dress with that. I don't know what yet, but a red dress. I thought 3 meters would see me quite well. It was fairly inexpensive fabric, so I didn't feel too bad about getting 3 meters worth of fabric. I then saw this fabric. Now, something a little bit naughty did happen with this. I saw this fabric and I absolutely loved it. So it's a pink and red viscose fabric, and I thought, oh, really nice big floaty skirt, that would look absolutely lovely, and I love the idea of making that. So I had the piece of fabric in my hand, not the fabric, the bolt of fabric in my hand, and this other lady came over and said, oh, it's really nice, isn't it? And I said, yeah, but it was ever so busy, really busy. And then all of a sudden she came over to me and said, oh, can I just borrow that a minute? I'll get back to you in a second. And I went, oh, okay, because I didn't think. And she went and had loads cut off it, and then there wasn't enough for what I wanted on here, which was a bit naughty really. I had it hold, she should have waited. So I'm just having a little moan, but yeah, I was a bit annoyed. So I haven't got as much as I wanted. I think I've only got 1.5 meters, which isn't quite enough, but I might end up making another one of these skirts but lengthening it. I don't think I'll need 1.5 meters, but I wanted to make something a bit bigger and fuller than that, so it was a bit naughty, and I think maybe I should have just said, oh well, no, sorry, I've got it for a minute, I'm waiting to get it cut, but I just didn't think. So yeah, it was a bit naughty. I don't think this is just a viscose. I think this is a viscose twill because it's a bit thicker than that, but I love that, and I think for the summer as a nice skirt that will look absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, sorry if that was you. I don't know who it was, and I don't mean to be rude, but I was a bit gutted. Just saying. Anyway, so the reason I was at the show was because I was doing a catwalk for Dovetailed London, and I didn't know quite what it was going to be like, but oh my gosh, it was amazing and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen or you don't know what Dovetailed is, it's an African wax print company run by the lovely Adaku, and the colours of all the clothes that were on the catwalk were just absolutely phenomenal. They looked really, really lovely, and I was, yeah, really chuffed to be part of it. And while I was there, I just thought, oh, I'm going to get myself another piece of African wax fabric. And all of the African wax fabric that I've got is very stiff. It's quite, you know, it's a thick cotton, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it does change the more that you wash it. But you can buy some African wax fabric which is a bit softer, and I've bought a piece, and I've bought it in this amazing green, I don't know, jade green, with these beautiful flowers and flower buds and vines and things on them. I just am so in love with this colour, and oh, I haven't got them with me. I did actually buy 2 patterns as well from Dovetailed, and I'll put them up on the screen. So I bought the Marianne dress, or the Marianne dress, which is the dress that Adele from Button and Pip, she had that on, and I did think that would be quite nice in the dress that she had on. I absolutely love what she was wearing. She was on the catwalk too, and it just looked lovely. And then I bought, I think it's called the Camille dress, but I might have got that wrong, and Alice from the Polka Dot Palace was wearing that, and she had it on in this beautiful purple colour, and it just looks stunning. But she had done it sleeveless. Originally I didn't think the dress was for me because it has big puffy sleeves, but seeing it styled in a different way just was fabulous, and I absolutely loved it. So one of those 2 dresses in this is what I have planned for that, but I'm not sure which one yet. And I have to say, when I was at the show, I did do a bit of a really embarrassing fangirl moment when I saw Alice from the Polka Dot Palace. When I first met her, I went, oh, I can't believe I'm meeting you, oh, it's really, really great. And then I felt a bit stupid afterwards because she's just so lovely. And yeah, it was great to finally meet her and have a bit of a yap to her behind the scenes at the show. So that was my African wax fabric fabric that I got. And then the last piece of fabric, I do feel a bit funny about, because I saw this last year when I went to the Knitting and Stitching show, and I saw it on a person, not in real life. I saw it on Man Yi. She had on the saltwater slip in this beautiful Fabric Godmother fabric, and I absolutely loved it, and I just thought, oh, I really wish I could get some of that, but I couldn't get it at the time. They had sold out. And when I went to the show the Stitch Festival this year, so not the Knitting and Stitching, but the Stitch Festival, they had this fabric up there. They didn't have as much as I wanted, but I think I've got enough for the saltwater slip. But I've just watched a video from Tamlin from Sewing the Tide, and she's done exactly the same thing, and she's bought some based on seeing it on Man Yi, but I had no idea she'd bought it. I don't know if she knows I've bought it. Well, she might do now if she watches this, she might not, but I'm like, oops, if we get together we'll have to make sure we're not wearing it at the same time. But I really love that fabric, and I just think those colours are beautiful and gorgeous, and I think that they will make a beautiful dress. So yes, I can't wait to make that. So that is the last of the fabric that I bought from the Stitch Festival, and obviously I'll have put the patterns up that I bought as well. So I've just got a couple of other pieces of fabric left to show you, and then I'm going to pass you over to Amy. Or in fact, you know what? I'm going to pass you over to Amy first, and then I'll come back to you with my last purchases.
Hello. So I've been asked to show you guys some of the things that I've been up to again. So hello again. Right, I've got a list down here. So the first thing that I finished was those black socks for my boyfriend, which I don't have because it's his birthday on Thursday, so he's already got them, which is exciting. I talked last time about possibly embroidering something on a small thing on the side, but I tried and I'm no good at embroidery, and I thought it would just look messy, and the socks looked quite neat, and so I thought it was best to leave it. So he's got them now, which is exciting. He hasn't opened them yet, so we'll see we'll see what he thinks of them. But I was quite pleased come the end. They were basically finished when I showed you last, so they don't look that different anyway. Then the next thing that I made was the frog that I was talking about. So I'll show you him. Where is he? Here he is. And I made him a little jumper too. So here he is. I'll take his jumper off. I embroidered eyes on instead of sewing on like safety eyes. Here we go. So this was just made from scraps from my stash. So here we go. His legs are very wonky. So my boyfriend said he's got some spare wire, and we can put that in the arms and legs so they can be shaped a bit nicer. But he's just so cute. And he was even stuffed with scraps, which is quite nice. So yeah. And he's got a little jumper too to go with it. So I've made another one since, but I wasn't as happy with that one. I think it looks a bit scruffy, so I might be making another one to replace it, but I'm not sure yet. And I also need to make a jumper for that one too. So, oh, sorry about that. So there you go, those are some of my finished objects. I've got one more, what I'm wearing. So this is made from the Knitting for Olive merino and soft silk mohair, and I really like it. So I'm wearing dungarees, so it's kind of hard to show. Oh, I could just take the dungarees off, couldn't I? Here you go. So I've got a top underneath. Here it is. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. This is the Cumberland sweater. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I can't remember the designer's name, but I'm sure something will be written underneath the video. I really liked it because I like the short row shaping. I've got another jumper. I've got a yellow jumper with the colour work on it, which I really like the shape of. So I wanted another one, but that was plainer. So yeah, I did all the same increases and everything, just didn't do the colour work. But my gauge was not right. My gauge was a bit small, but so was the gauge on the other jumper. So I matched gauge to the other jumper and made the exact same size, and it's the exact same fit, which is quite nice. So I think it's a slightly tighter gauge, but I think it was supposed to have 6 inches of positive ease. So I didn't want that. I wanted like 2 inches. I don't know how much this does have. I think it is probably about 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. So yeah, I finished it out. I thought that I wanted to have a 3/4 length sleeve, but I didn't do a 3/4 length sleeve. Because a 3/4 length is what, like under the elbow. I did it to like here, so it just looked like I had a really short jumper. And I decided, you know what, I want the full sleeve, so I added to it, which you might be able to tell where I changed about here. But yeah, the only things that I changed were the colour work. I also did shaping in the body because I only had 4 balls of each yarn, and I didn't want to run out. I was really scared of running out, so I did decreases in the body, very subtle, but just so it comes in slightly at the waist. And I didn't do a 2x2 ribbing at the hem and at the cuffs. I did a 1x1 because I wanted it to match this. And I also did an Italian bind off, or a sewn bind off, whatever it is, which just makes the stitches look like, don't know if I'll be able to do that, look like they're just kind of rolling around onto the other side. I haven't shown that very well, but yeah, I did regular sleeve decreases. I started decreasing a lot more for the sleeves when I first started them, but they got too small. I thought I was being clever. But yeah, and I ended up with quite a lot of the wool left, so I probably only needed 3 of each skein, which is quite nice. But maybe I can use the leftovers to make that other jumper for my other frog. So yeah, there's that one. And that is all my finished objects. I was going to possibly embroider something around the just around the collar or around the sleeves, but I quite like the way it is for now. I might change my mind later, but right now I like that it's simple, so I think I'm gonna keep it for now. Okay, what I'm working on right now, I've only got one thing going right now, which is how I like it. I usually don't have multiple things. Is a pair of socks for me. So Mum gave me this yarn for Christmas. It is by Strictly Hand-Dyed Yarn, and it's called Rio Twilight. And here's what I've got so far. They need blocking because they're all a bit scrunched up right now. But I've done the foot, and there's this detail on the front, and now I've done a heel flap and gusset. It was a short row heel with a gusset, with a heel flap, and this is just a 1x1 slip stitch rib, which is quite nice. I usually prefer Eye of Partridge, which is just like, it's like slip stitch rib, but you alternate where the slip stitch is, so it's, I always think it looks like honeycomb, but I thought this would match the stitch pattern. Oh, all of my stitches have come off. I thought it would match the stitch pattern. So yeah, I've got about 3 inches. I want them to be kind of longish socks. Got about 3 inches left of the sock to go, so I'm hoping to finish that today, but I do have coursework to be getting on with too, so that might not happen. So yeah, that is what I'm making. I don't think there's anything else to say about that, but it's very fun. Now my plans, I've got quite a lot of plans. The first thing I want to do after I finish these socks is to gauge swatch and then cast on the Breeze bag by Petite Knit, because I fancy it. I've got quite a lot of this wool left over. This is 100% wool. The ball band didn't say what wool, it just said wool, British wool. I made a cardigan from this, but I had quite a lot left over. I think I've got nearly 2 whole balls left over, which I think will be plenty for this bag. The bag is meant to be held like 2 fingering weights held together, but I think this is a relatively thick DK, and if it's not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy mohair or anything like that because it's a scrappy project and I'm not putting mohair in a bag. That just seems a bit of a waste. So I'm going to use this. If I don't have enough of this, I've got loads of other blue DK weight wool. I've got this, which is left over from Mum's jumper. And I've got this, which is left over from a t-shirt that I made. I've got some little bit of blue from my scarf that I made. This is left over from one of Mum's projects. Bit of cotton from Mum's project. So yeah, I've got loads of blue I could add to it. I've even got some grey. It's just a bag, so it doesn't matter, which I think is quite nice and is good scrap buster. What's quite nice is that it's not necessarily a scrap buster. I saw the pattern for the bag and I really wanted the bag, but instead of buying yarn, I just had some. So it's just nice that it is free. All I've had to pay for is the pattern. So yeah, quite excited about that. The next thing that I want to make after the Breeze bag is finally the rumble raglan. I've talked about this quite a few times. I've gauge swatched now. So the rumble raglan is going to be made with these colours. It's a t-shirt with this kind of colour work pattern. Here's my gauge swatch. But the gauge swatch isn't completely accurate to what they will look like. They'll have some longer stripes, some shorter stripes, and there'll be 3 colours in there. But just for the sake of swatching, I just used 2. And I'll probably undo this so I can use it later. But yeah, swatched ages ago, so I should probably swatch again, but I'm not going to. So there you go. Then, after that, I really want to make Mum a pair of socks. I want to make her some quite hardy but pretty socks. And Mum loves rainbows. And I made a hat that I probably showed last time with this rainbow mohair. I think it's called Marshmallow. It's Diablo mohair from Hobby in the Wild Prince thing. So I want to make a pair of socks out of that. So I'll show you the wool. So this is a British Woolly Knits British wool cone. I've got like 3 of these, you can see. I've got one full one there, another one this size. And this is the rainbowy mohair. This mohair's got quite a lot of, yeah, it's got 40% acrylic, 30% polyamide. So it's going to be good for a sock because wool by itself isn't, you need a bit of nylon in it, which is good because polyamide and nylon, same thing, I think. Pretty sure they're the same thing. So I'm going to hold them together to make a sock, and I'm not sure which, so I shall show you. I haven't even showed Mum yet. I also forgot to show what the pattern was for the sock that I'm making. The sock I'm making is called Gerst, number 34 from 50 Weeks of Socks. Oh, I won't show the pattern. Yeah, but I just did it with the heel flap, which there are instructions for. Okay, so what I want to make Mum is one of 2 patterns. One is this one. Try and hide this pattern. This one. The String of Hearts socks, number 35 in the 52 Weeks of Socks book. Not the new one. There is a new one. This sock is the only one that's been recommended to hold with mohair, so I thought I should consider this one at least, but I'm not sure I like it. I don't like socks that don't have ribbing at the top. Like, I just want ribbing. So yeah, I'll try and hide this. There you go, flashcard can hide it. There they are. They're quite pretty. It's kind of hard to tell because of how dark it is. I think with the lighter wool it will look nicer anyway. And there was actually one more, which I can't find in the book, but it is the one on the front cover. I thought was really pretty. So yeah, I'm just not sure. I need to ask Mum really. But yeah, that's what I wanted to make for Mum. And then the last thing, after I've made these socks, which for some reason I had in my head that I would finish all of this in 2 weeks and and then be buying new wool, you know, in 2 weeks time, which is probably not going to happen. But the last thing I wanted to make is made from this wool, which is from Typical Bliss. I think I talked about this before, but I haven't had it yet, so I finally get to see it. This is Typical Bliss. She is a independent yarn dyer in Canada, and I love what she does. Her collections are themed. So this one was a Willy Wonka theme. So this is the golden ticket wool. She's also got a lickable wallpaper, and I think she's got a chocolate fountain, I'm pretty sure. But now she's coming out with, this year, each month, the wool that she sells is based off of a Studio Ghibli film, or Studio Ghibli, I can't remember, I don't know how you say it. So I think she's done a Princess Mononoke theme this month, which is so cool. It's just really cool. Yeah, so I wanted to, it is quite expensive, but that's what hand dyeing yarn is, especially if you're shipping it from Canada. So here it is. What I want to make with it is a camisole. I can't remember the name of it's one of the numbered camisoles from My Favourite Things Knitwear. She makes really lovely camisoles. However, I have heard that they're not very size inclusive, that company is not very size inclusive. I'm not sure about this specific camisole. I have to look it up. I really like it. But yeah, I've heard that they don't do very many sizes. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I have been thinking recently, will this colour suit me? I'm not sure, yellow doesn't usually suit me. But give it a go, and if it doesn't, I can always add a bit of colour in somewhere, you know, on the cast off edge, have a different colour. I don't know, something along those lines, but I think it'd be very, very fun to make. That's all the wool I've got, but I do have plans for one more thing. Well, I've always got plans for lots more things, but basically in the summer I want to redecorate my room because it's been this way for a long time, and it just needs a coat of paint really, so we thought might as well decorate. I've already got bedding that I had last year for uni, so I want to make some cushions and blankets to go with it, and I want to make a big chunky blanket, all one colour, so it'd be quick and easy and nice. But I have got a ball of this, so I thought this would be really nice as like an edging, like a fluffy edging to whatever blanket I make. I have no idea what. I need a trip to Hobbycraft really, but yeah. And I've also got the skeins of wool that I've been spinning. So I've got 3 now, and I'm in the middle of doing, you can probably see it up there, of doing the last one from the beginner's kit, and then I've got loads of fibre that somebody kindly gave me. So I've got these colours, and I thought this would be really nice. It's all lumpy bumpy. I'll just make a plain stocking stitch cushion, buy a cushion, knit it to the dimensions, and possibly with these, but they might be a bit dark, so we'll see. But I thought it'd be nice to use them for something, especially something that you don't need to really worry about gauge or anything like that. Oh, sorry, you're on my yarn stand. You're wobbling about. So yeah, that is everything. I've talked for quite a long time, but that's what I've been up to and what I'm going to be doing. Bye.
So I hope you've enjoyed seeing Amy. I know that lots of you really love seeing her makes and her plans and things. So yeah, that's really lovely. So the last few things I bought are a little bit plainer and not very exciting. Maybe I shouldn't have saved these till last, but it was just the order they were piled up in. So I bought myself a plain viscose fabric. Plain viscose jersey fabric. I've bought a plain black viscose jersey from Make at 140, and I've decided I'm going to make the Sew Over It Estelle dress in this. I've made it once before in a thick soft sweat, which wasn't quite the right fabric for it, but I really love the dress and I love the style of it. I have actually got it hanging on the back of my door because I need to shorten it, and I haven't quite got around to doing that yet, so I will do that at some point. But when I was away with the lovely Northern Soul Sisters and Helen, when we went to Birmingham a few weeks ago, somebody said, oh, have you seen the plain black version that's been made in it? And I had a little look at it and I was like, actually, yeah, that's really lovely and will go with so much stuff. So that's what this is destined to be. Very plain, very boring. I know it's not a nice big bright bold fabric, but sometimes you just need some statement pieces in your wardrobe that are able to go with lots of other things. I want to make some bright outerwear, and I don't feel like I can make bright patterned outerwear and then wear patterned things underneath. It all sort of is a bit much, so having some nice plain things will be really good. So yeah, I'm really pleased that I've got that, and I will hopefully get around to making that quite soon. Then I also bought some fabric from Haberdashery Fabric some more, and again this is because I'm on the search for some really nice trousers, but I thought this fabric was really nice to make a pair of nice wide-ish, not too wide because otherwise John will complain again, some wide-ish leg trousers, tailored type look. But again, I am on that search. I'm on that search for the perfect pair of trousers. I really want to do something with a fly front, but should I stop focusing on the fly front and not worry about that? Maybe, I don't know, I'm just having my own thoughts and saying them to you now. But have you got any trouser pattern inspiration? Let me know if you have, because I just cannot think what to make. But yes, that's what I bought for that. I think I bought 2.5 meters of that because I thought that would be enough. It's quite a wide fabric, but it's like a viscosy wool type blend, so that would be nice as a pair of suit trousers of some sort, or work trousers. And then last but not least, and I think I've shown this on my plans video anyway, But I bought this from Haberdashery Fabrics and More as well. And I've bought this to make some really nice, bright, cheery cushions for just inside my front door. They're going to go on this thing that I call my bus stop, which is not a bus stop, it's just a bench. But I call it a bus stop really weirdly, and I don't know why. So yes, but I bought that. So this is a canvasy sort of fabric, so it's quite thick. And do you know what? I don't think I'm going to wash this. I think I'm just going to make it straight up. I don't think it really needs to be washed because I don't think it will shrink. And well, it's cushions, isn't it? So I think it'll be fine. But yes, so that is everything that I've bought in the last month or so, really. And the makes that I've made and the makes that Amy's made. So there's a little bit of a mishmash of all sorts of different things there. I hope you don't mind. But yes, I haven't felt terribly great about the sewing. I haven't lost my sojo or anything like that, but you have a couple of fails on the trot and you feel a bit like, oh, well, I can't be bothered now. But I'm fine because I've made that lovely skirt. I think I'm back on it, and yeah, looking at all this lovely fabric is just making me feel very happy. And I am on a bit of a sorting mode at the moment, so I'm sorting fabrics, sorting patterns, and it's really making me relook at everything I've got, and it's making me go, oh yeah, I want to make that, and oh yeah, I want to make that. And now I'm doing the whole head explosion. What can I make first? Because there's so much I want to make. Anyway, I think before I go off on any more tangents, I'm going to love you and leave you there. I hope you're all having a good week. I will speak to you all again soon. Take care. Bye.